We get this game underway. Singapore under-21 women versus Malaysian under-21 women. We'll bring this game to you. Name check the teams for you at half time. Sorry, I'm a little late to the case. That's a decent chance there for Singapore team. And first minute honours even, no score. Been some phenomenal games in this group so far. Under-21 women's group T. Teams dropped out of the top half of the draw, but nonetheless all to play for in terms of world rankings. And now we're away with Wang. Long punting pass. That is a very fine, very long pass. That's Lim now. She takes a dribble. She slowed herself down just a little bit too much, allowed Effa to catch her up. And that break closed down, but a foul adjudged to be called by the referees, so that will keep things alive for Singapore on the attack. Getting the free shot set up. So slow, steady build up from Singapore here. Couldn't make that break count, but now they've got something going on, and they've got something pretty serious going on. That was Yu. Took the punt inside and scored. So she opens the scoring for Singapore. They lead by 1-0 over Malaysia. 2.5 minutes gone. Will Malaysia respond? Very often, best chance of scoring is when another team's just scored past you. Often the guard's down a little bit, but not going to score punching that backwards. That's loose handling really from Mira. Ball recycled by Singapore. They're looking confident now. That's done them the power of good, scoring the goal. Looking to press home the advantage, and this is coming through from the captain, Ho. Lim. Yeah, Ho just confident and confidence. The opening goal just so crucial, as in so many games. Doesn't matter what category or where in the competition, if you can just settle your nerves, it can be absolutely crucial going forwards. At the moment, you'd have to say Singapore in the ascendancy. Malaysia have the ball and they come away. Effa dribbling but running out of options. Can't see a teammate. Holding the ball but can't see a way out. Does eventually find Elena. And the Malaysia team coming upfield. That's a long speculative shot from Azalin. No product, but still keeping the pressure on Singapore here. Possibly the best attack that Malaysia have had in the game so far. But Singapore coming back down at them at pace. Will she see Hon free on this side? No. Recycles it towards the middle, might be wise. And to Hon in the end, yep. Taking that extra, slightly slower route has certainly paid. Hon had time and space to finish it. In the end, she'd have been under pressure if the pass had come when I thought it might go. Played it round the block, Singapore, and actually gave Hon a much better chance. Beautifully done from them. Good job they can't hear or listen to me. Did it better without. Well done. Referees for this game, Maurizio Pelli on the far side and Ezio Ambrosetti on this side. Italy and USA respectively. Referees doing a fine job here in Deqing. ICF referee team are here and they cover all the games. Takes the burden, doing up to 5 games a day each. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to reply to being scored. That's Effa. Comes down, took the right-hand side as her own. There was nobody pressuring her, and because of that, she was able to think about place and take that shot. So, 2-1. So Singapore looking like they were in the ascendancy, but took their eye off the ball, or more precisely, took their eye off Effa there. Just let her come straight down the right-hand side of her attack, the left of their defence, and score. She's back on defensive duties now. Singapore picking up the pace. Deep to the captain Ho. And back to Ho, so just an interchange of passes there. Over the top to Tan, who's not shy about having a shot. Malaysian coach urging his team forwards. I think that goal's to his taste. He'd like a bit more of that. That's a huge pass if it makes. Oh, and it doesn't. Cursed that a little bit. Very ambitious long pass for Zaylin. Ho. Yes, definitely having the better of the play, Singapore. That's into the side netting from but they've had the better of this, but only 2-1. Malaysia very much in it. As Singapore retreat to their defensive positions, Malaysia bring it away through Zaylin, the captain. Looking for a pass, can't see one, dribbles herself. Careful not to dribble herself into trouble, but instead she puts a teammate under a bit of pressure. Munira, won't thank her for that, a loose pass. And that just allows Singapore to nick the ball off her. And again, dwelled a little bit too long on the ball there, no question about it. You paid the price, a bit of a soaking. Effa had the best of this game for the Malaysian side, scoring the goal and defensively tackling like that. Played well for them. Oh, speculative shot inside of the top bar and out. Nice little paddle flick, but unfortunately to the wrong player. Inside pass goes in and out of the hands of Yu, and it's a goal line throw in favour of Malaysia. So Singapore leading by 2-1, Malaysia with the ball in their own half. Just under 3 minutes to go. So Effa onto the far side, can't control that. Has a pocket pick by Young, brings it back. The mistakes defining this game so far. Just too close to the paddle of Mira, but she can't quite get it under control, and Singapore keep possession. But they're being troubled at every corner really by the Malaysian team. It's a step up for them. And that's under. So that's there just taking a punting shot, and I can't blame her, plenty of power on it, but it did go well under the goal. These two teams ranked 10th and 11th in the world. Singapore 10th, Malaysia 11th, so we can expect a close game. The ICF rankings very often throwing up clashes, as you would expect. They're quite a good predictor of these things. Less so in the under-21 category, it's fair to say. Teams changing more regularly, but nonetheless, do very much often find that we can predict how close a game is going to be, and these two teams rank close together. So, as I say, 9th and 10th, Singapore the slight edge, and that is what we would see reflected in this game. But this bit of attack, floated up. I think that had beaten the keeper if it had got there, and that's Effa again. No doubt about it, she's been the player of the match for Malaysia so far, because that's the equaliser. So, 2-2, last minute of the first half. All to play for, no question about that. Both of these teams would love to improve their ranking. ...40 seconds, so Singapore will control the last period of this, but whether they can get anything to happen or not remains to be seen. Well, and there we go. They certainly can. This time it's Lim for them, floating up a long high ball into the back of the net. Very nicely done, absolutely crucial, and the timing on it superb. 30 seconds. Can they hang on? If they don't concede quickly, they'll be just fine here. Malaysia aware of that too, trying hard. 18 seconds, shots coming, and the finish is coming. That was more than just a shot. I called it a shot, but Azalin's got to pat herself on the back for that. That was a bullet into the top of the goal. That is the way to respond to conceding a goal 30 seconds from half-time. 15 seconds later, bang, the equaliser. Malaysia 3, Singapore 3, game on. Into half-time, tied. That would be wonderful for us, a reflection of the rankings. Give us a proper second half. Coaches be able to make their influence, and we can all have a fantastic extra 10 minutes. Surely not. Surely there's not another goal in this half. Singapore would like to think so. Malaysia desperate to get hand on it. Just get to half time. They've tied it at 3. There isn't time for this break to happen. No. And as we go into half time, I'll take this very quick opportunity to remind you that the scores are tied at 3 between the under-21 women of Singapore and their opponents, the under-21 women of Malaysia. We have our main sponsors at this event, organisationally, the International Canoe Federation, China Canoe Association, Huzhou City, Deqing County. You can't imagine the amount of preparation that goes into this, both at local and international level. Those bodies responsible for making this event happen over probably 4 or 5 years of preparation for this specific event. The city of Deqing barely existed 5 years ago. These buildings you can see in the background all sprung up since then. And the equipment and financial sponsors, Yupin Sports, global sponsor of Canoe Polo, I'm sure you're aware, Gokong Group, Latour Sports and Kalas Clothing, all provided specific sponsorship for this event. As we look at the Singapore team, they are number 1, Ung, number 3, Wang, number 4, Tan, number 5, Soon, number 6, Yu, number 7, Lim, number 8, Hon, number 9, Ong, number 10, the captain, Ho, and in the magenta buoyancy aids when we swing across, which production certainly will for us, we will have the Malaysian team, and they are number 1, Jay Shin, number 2, Alia, number 4, Mira, number 5, Helena, number 6, Effa, for me the player of the match so far, number 7, Munira, number 9, the captain, Azalin. So, evenly matched teams, evenly matched rankings. The final goal that equalised it on the button of half-time, 15 seconds from the time, Hooter was from the captain, Azalin, an absolute bullet into the top of the goal, a captain's job. Half-time team talk. we can imagine it. You've got to keep doing the same. We've got to prove that we can pull ahead of them. If we get a lead, we have to do this. If we go behind, we have to do that. These coaches, this is the 3 minutes where they can have a real influence on the outcome. The rest of the time, they're just making noise from the back. But right now, one key phrase can make the difference between winning and losing this game. Fantastic. If you're a fan of the Singapore team, or a follower of, or a fan of the Malaysian team, or a follower of, then good luck to you. For us, the independent crowd, this has been a close, tight game so far, and I hope it's a close, tight game to the line. This will get us going. The crowd behind us are beginning to roar, but this start, as Maurizio Pelli throws the ball in, will be crucial. Who is going to get the first possession of the game, of the half? Mira for Malaysia, looking like she's leading slightly from Ung of Singapore, and I think she did get there first, but in terms of what the job's all about, Ung's delivered. Got there second but came away with the ball. That is the job done. So Singapore had slightly the better of this first half, I would say, but apart from some spectacular personal performances by the Malaysian team, they would be ahead. But here they come. Can they make this stick? You can see how keen they are. That is a fantastic pass. That really was a superb pass into Lim, but she couldn't make it stick with the shot. Malaysia away with the goal line throw. They're going to have to be careful because Ung is there ready to pounce on anything that's loose. Came up from behind, quite tricky thing to do. Very clever. Catch an opponent unawares because some of this handling the ball going loose in the water, and I think Ung was thinking if she could sweep in and pick one of those up, it might be very profitable. That inside pass that landed with Helena, nicely done, but no, the referee's going to their pocket now, and that is a card for Tan from Singapore. This could be crucial now because this is going to leave Malaysia with a decent scoring chance. It's a power play send off, so Tan will be off either for 2 minutes or until Malaysia score. So one way or another, well, she's back on pretty quickly because that is a crashing goal from Azalin again, the captain. So she's added to hers. She has a brace now, goes back, paddling up there back to her goalkeeping position. So goalkeeper, captain, goal scorer, that's a pretty impressive CV, and she's certainly done all of those in this game. And for the first time, Malaysia take the lead, 4-3. But a very, very quick reply. That could have been you for Singapore, had a golden opportunity, but once again the goal scorer Zaylin is back in goal and saves it out. 2 minutes gone of this second half, and Malaysia have crept themselves into the lead. Singapore back to 5, obviously, as there's been a goal. And being allowed too easily to pass that ball inside, but fumbled away. There's no other word for that. And in the, oh, that's a play on, yeah, a bit of clumsy tackling there. But they won't mind that. The good call play on from the referee team, because that allowed the captain, Ho, to punt up that long shot, I think, while the Malaysian team were expecting a foul to be called, to be honest. And that's the equaliser. Great play on from the referees. I think they just switched off for a second, Malaysia, and the long shot caught them napping. So 4-all, 3-all at half time. Malaysia have had the lead. Singapore had the lead in the first half. End-to-end stuff. 7.5 more minutes of it if we're lucky. Can one team edge this game out? It is a group game. We don't require a result. A draw would be acceptable for the system, but I'm pretty sure neither of these teams wants to settle for a draw. Other teams in this group, just to inform you really, we have obviously Singapore and Malaysia, Chinese Taipei, China, People's Republic of Thailand, and of course the mighty Australia are in this women's group T, having missed the cut for the top half of the draw, not where they were hoping to be. These teams now keen to press on, but at 4-all, still anybody's game. And Malaysia being pegged back by the 2 chasers from Singapore, but they've broken that chase and they're inside. Can't get close to the goal. Oh, that's well passed. That is a superb two-handed pass through to Elena, but she couldn't actually make anything happen there. Missed the goal. That's a pity because that was a lovely move from a Malaysian point of view. Singapore moving forwards. Oh, that was interesting. Hon came onto the pitch, shouted a set of instructions, obviously come straight from the coach to the captain, Ho, whether that's a set play or a style of play that he wants to change, but that was very, very specific. It was very quick, communicated in a few words as she came on, so obviously sent on to deliver that message, and that certainly nearly profited. They had a big gap to deal with there, Singapore. And that's a shot that's not really going to trouble Azalin at this stage in the game. She's got her eye on. I'm just keeping an eye on the capsized player, but she's righted herself. But that does mean that Singapore have got two players behind the play. This is a big chance for Malaysia. They're outnumbering. They're 3 against 2. They've found Azalin. She's retrieved it, can't quite get to grip with it, and ends up putting an elbow on their opponent's boat. And so Wang will breathe a sigh of relief. I don't think she'd have got there on her own, but referee coming to her aid. Very nice. At this stage in a game, coming into the last 5 minutes, you'll take all the help you can get as a player, especially in a tight one like this when it's 4-all. If your opponent puts an elbow on your boat and the referee calls it, that's happy days. Oh, and that's loose, just left the ball in the water, and to be fair, Wang just couldn't quite believe her luck. All she had to do is paddle onto it and pick it up. That's a big pass forwards. Here we go. Very loose defence from Malaysia. They're clearly playing quite open. Oh, I don't think she realised there was an open pass to her left. I think Soon would have very happily had that in her hands there, and I think it could have easily been landed. But still, Singapore on the attack, pressing it. There's a real confusion in the Malaysian defence. Yeah, nothing there, nothing between that and the goal. And I'm afraid that for Effa, who's been a striker really more than anything in this game, scored some goals, that's been fantastic. I'm sorry for her there because that was relatively soft, and that gives the lead with 4 minutes left to Singapore. My mistake. Malaysia coming forwards. They prove they can score. They need to get close and they need to get a big finish on, but that pass that's wayward is going to hurt because that was a very easy pick-up for Ung, and now Singapore away again. Yep, both teams working hard to turn over possession, both teams being a bit lucky in place and a bit unlucky in others. That's how we've got the ebb and flow of this game. I think Lady Luck's shining and frowning on these teams in equal measure, but in the end of the day, that's a goal for Effa again. She sprints back. Her and Azalin have been the two key players, no question about it, for this Malaysian team. But between them, they've scored 5 goals, and that's what's got the scores tied. Singapore sharing the honours around a bit more. So, 3.5 minutes. I really wouldn't like to call this. This is too close. I think probably on the balance of play, Singapore have slightly edged it, but it has been so little. A draw wouldn't be an unreasonable result here. I'm sure it doesn't suit either of these teams. You can see the competitiveness. They're just driving and pushing. They want this. This is almost a local derby. No, I'm afraid. Not going to get away with driving the goalkeeper all the way off the back line there. Referee's there. Goal line throw. We've got a very loose game here because we have Ung from Singapore up and chasing. Some of the other players dropping back, some not so much. Malaysian players spread the length of the pitch. It's a nice open game. Suits us. Ung here quite happy to work on her own and quite productive doing it, to be honest. She has been through the game. Nothing doing there, and Malaysia come forwards. Who have they got a pass? Not really a shooting opportunity, but we're looking for something. Recycling, is that the best option? So far it is. Effa and Azalin, the two main players combining there, but not enough on that really to trouble the Singaporean goalkeeper. Ho, perfectly capable of dealing with that. and they come away in their turn. Very much end to end. That's a great tackle. That's slowing things down. That's Effa again. It comes back across. Hon driving up the pitch. Can she find Ung? Not quite, but kind of. Ung gets the ball protected and then gets a bit of a shove off for the defender that helps her face the right way. In the end, it's Lim takes the punt, but not really enough on it to trouble the informer Zaylin. Singapore with the ball. Singapore looking for an opportunity. Decides there's not much on and takes a shot. Now that's dropped. Yeah, quite clear cut. I think that, yeah, I'm afraid that's going to be a green card and probably thoroughly deserved for Elena. The drag of the paddle across an opponent playing it. Going to catch that every time. So Malaysia go down to 4 until the end of this game or until Hong Kong score. Can they weather this attack? That's off the inside of the top bar. So far, so good. I think Azaylin reluctantly now is going to have to accept that popping it out for a corner, killing some clock, and maybe getting over the line at a 5-all draw is the best they can hope for. It would be a big ask for them to score with 4. Ringing the change, you're trying to get some fresh arms on. That's Munera. She comes on to threaten the corner and drop into the line. They have got to work here. There's a minute. Can they keep Singapore out? Shots like that will help. That's off the top bar and out. How are Malaysia going to manage this game from here? They've got the ball. They've got a goal line throw. 50 seconds on the clock, but they are a player down. Ball goes up and forwards. Mustn't overcommit forwards, and I can see Azalin's immediately aware of that. Wants to be back in a goal. She's been informed. She's been absolutely key. Can't afford to get confused with Effa for how they deal with it. 30 seconds. They're going to have to do something here, but I'm afraid that's just too easy. So Ho scores. 30 to remain. The only good news in that for the Malaysian team is they're back to 5 with 30 seconds on the clock. They've scored in 15 before in this game, so then we know they can do it. They've proved that earlier on. Can they do it when the chips are really down? That lead for Singapore could be crucial. All the pressure now on Malaysia. Goalkeeper Ho for Singapore back on her post. Will she be called on to make one last ditch save? Maybe she will, maybe she won't. It's in the hands of the Malaysians. Can't get facing the goal, ball in hand, trying too hard. They need to get that ball moving around. Azaylin, is there a pass she likes the look of? Over the top, this is beautifully done. Effa's a good goal scorer, but I'm afraid that's been cut away. And that boat blocking by Ung to just stop her picking that ball up and drawing a foul could actually be the defining moment of this game. She's played most of the game up the far end, Ung, but that little cut away with a boat that means that Singapore hang on to that slender 1-goal lead and run out winners by 6-5 over neighbours and opponents Malaysia.